Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is episode number 32. Again, we're sponsored by ACTV and the Blue Comedy Tour. Guest tonight, my boy Tomer, funny guy. Can't wait to get into this, so let's get started.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm shocked with the guy before me. He lives in a 200 square foot place.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? Me, I walk in, I'm not walking out. I'm going to the jaws of life to get me the hell out of here.
That's hilarious.
And what's this? What, are we having a date?
I know.
Look at everybody else. What the hell is it?
We need some of that spaghetti and...
We don't need spaghetti. Maybe you're right.
So what have you been up to? I mean, you're one of the locals' favorite around here.
Really?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I thought people hated me.
No, you're controversial, but I love controversy. You know? Especially in this day and age, it's refreshing.
Yeah, well, I'm banned from most of the clubs.
Are you? I believe that. If you guys ever want to jump on YouTube and check out some of his stuff,
Well, I mean, the one guy that, is a famous club, and finally has me up, and he tells me before I do the show, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that, I don't want you to do this. My whole act is gone.
Yeah.
I said, okay, whatever you want. So I went up there and I did this and I did that,
Yeah.
and I did everything he didn't want me to do.
I'm
not back.
Yeah, it's so, I've talked about this before, how bizarre that something in the arts is now so restricted, right?
Oh, I don't know how comedy is going to continue.
I don't either.
I mean,
It's
everybody,
tough.
you say hello. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean,
And then you go to the open mics where people try and work on their material because they don't get it right. So you have to walk a tightrope of trying material and it's going to fail. And then if it fails, like the joke bombs and you're a jerk, right?
Well, it's an open mic. You should be able to do whatever you want. Let people.
I think some of the craziest hecklers are at open mics.
Huh?
Because they're cheap shows. They're cheap comedy shows.
Open mics are meant to practice, and it's not meant to be taken seriously in the sense that you're supposed to die at an open mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you bomb. Everybody bombs.
Yeah, but there's some people who get lucky and they don't bomb at the beginning.
Yeah.
So now it's going to take them 3 years to figure out that they suck.
Yeah, it's true. And then
Because you got four in a row. Oh, look, I'm doing good. This is easy. I bombed the first 10 times.
Yeah. And then I think their career flatlines. They just get to that point and they don't know.
Let's not use the word career. Career. I mean, 2 shows and someone's a comic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like a travel agent or...
Yeah. So tell me about your journey.
Well, I came to the final table of the World Series of Poker in 2003. And then worked with it, and then I started doing seminars about poker on cruise ships.
Wow.
And then people were starting to laugh at what I was saying. And then more and more people started showing up, not for poker, but just what I was saying.
And you were at the final table of the World Series,
Yeah,
right?
final table of the World Series with Chris
Wow.
Moneymaker.
Yeah.
What a name is that, huh?
Yeah.
Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money. He
Did he
lost
win?
it all. But
Yeah.
And then it was funny. People just knew me by the name of Tomer. When I came in 5th,
Yeah.
from that point on, I was known as that lucky fat bastard. They wouldn't name me anymore.
That's it?
That's it. I'm known as the lucky fat bastard.
So how long have you been doing poker?
I did poker for 39 years. That's why I came here.
Yeah.
I came from New York City to do poker. I was at the clubs of Brooklyn before that.
Oh,
Started
man.
at 13.
So what year did you move here?
78.
Wow. So you were in the clubs with some of the old G, maybe ex-mafioso or maybe still mafioso.
Pretty much. No, there's no still.
Yeah.
But it's-
No, at that time.
No, at the time it was
right?
a lot of them. Yeah, I didn't know some that were as big as they were at the time too.
I mean, did you ever get at a table with any of them?
Oh yeah,
What?
of course. John Gotti.
You were at
When
a
he
table with
wasn't-
John Gotti?
Well, I didn't know anything about. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't the same
He
thing as
wasn't-
I know now.
Right?
I mean, he was just starting to make his. He was a terrible gambler.
Yeah.
He was horrendous. He was one of the worst. But he was a good
Big
gambler.
fish.
He didn't get mad. I don't know why, but he didn't get mad. He would tip everybody $50 a year, $100 a day.
Back then, that's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
$1,500 a lot. I would
So then when you come here, you have the same guys. I was mafia adjacent. I was never in the mob
But in
or
the
anything
same
close
room.
to the mob, but I had to deal with them all the time.
No kidding.
And it was fun. It was fun because they were also eating all the time, selling all kinds of stuff. It was fun as long as you don't deal with their business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Once in a while, you'd meet someone who was a little fishy. For example, people were scared of certain people that were killers.
Yeah.
This one guy, he killed about 24 people. It ends up.
What was that? Ants? Is that Spilatro?
No. But no, the Spilatro from the Chicago family were there. But this particular guy everybody was scared of him. Of course, I didn't know at the time how bad it was. But he used to dress up in different outfits to kill people.
What?
That's what it comes out now.
Oh
He did a rabbi, he did a priest, and then one time he finally did a woman. He dressed up as a woman. You know what? He liked dressing up as a woman, and we had the first assassin transvestite in the history of mafia.
That's amazing.
The guy he would dress up all the time. From that point on, he was dressed as a woman with a lipstick, and then he would come to at the poker room, he'd come and go, "Hey folks, how does this look? Does this make me look fat?"
No.
Yeah.
And then you go out and kill somebody.
Well, no, but then people are going, "Are you kidding me? We love the way you look.
Yeah.
You look fantastic."
Yeah.
This is macho guys. "Oh, you look fabulous. I'll even take you out on the table." So,
nobody's gonna tell him otherwise.
huh?
Nobody will tell him otherwise.
He's not
Maybe
around.
he did really look great.
Well,
To each his own.
yeah. Then we had one I didn't know. His name was Mr. Softy.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we ends up being in a book, and that guy happened to be. He had an ice cream truck, and he was called Mr. Softy because he used the ice cream truck as actually a place where he hid the bodies and killed.
And this is all of the Chicago outfit.
Yeah. Well, that one he was kind of a rogue.
Okay.
But we've seen him a couple of times.
So Softy.
With this outfit, with the Softy outfit and the little thing, no, I didn't know any of this. Don't think at that time I knew.
Yeah.
I said, "What is this guy? What is?"
That's amazing.
It ends up he would have a spray, cyanide spray. And when you pass by him, he would spray you with cyanide, and people thought that you had a heart attack. Again, I didn't know at the time. But why are we talking about this?
No, that's phenomenal.
This is after a homeless guy who's a saint. I'm talking about cyanide.
No, keep it going. Yeah. No, because that's interesting. That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, after doing some seminars, my wife talked me into doing comedy.
Yeah.
And I still slap her in the morning every day, just in case.
Yeah.
I haven't forgiven her since then.
Keep her on her toes.
Oh, she did it on purpose. Because she hated it.
Why?
You go into the comedy world. What's so good about it? Tell me.
It's feast or famine.
It's forget about the money.
Yeah.
To forget the money. Speaking of homeless, I wonder how many of them under their actual comedians who started as comedians
No
all
kidding.
over.
Especially in this city.
He wants to do stand up for the in the
Tunnels?
thing, in the tunnel. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's a bad crowd.
A couple of hecklers.
So I started the first time I was over at the 2011, and I was at the, what do you call it over there? Not the Bingo Palace, the Palace Station. They had a stage, an actual theater and a stage, and there would be open mics over there. So the first time I went there, I'm thinking I'm gonna do good.
Yeah.
This time I went there, the lights are shining, I
Oh,
can't
I
see
know.
anything, nobody's laughing, nobody's saying a word.
Oh, that's
Then
the
I fall
hardest.
off the stage.
You fell off.
I fell off the stage because I couldn't see the light.
Did they laugh then?
Yes.
Well, technically,
I think I got heckled instead of laughed. So that's how it all started.
Yeah. Yeah, and when those lights hit you, it's not only hot, but then you can't see a lot of the crowd, in a lot of those places. So it's tough. And then to get your mind back on track after you think a joke is gonna kill it, and then it doesn't, and then you gotta go to the next joke. And if that one won't,
It's we take it it's too at the beginning you're taking it too seriously. Every joke has got to be perfect.
True. That's
and
a
it's
good
just not
point.
going to happen then.
Yeah.
You're there to die.
Yeah.
So it's
really
painful.
good.
You're there to die. If you're not dying, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You can't be. The only person I know that they said Seinfeld was good from the beginning,
Yeah.
and then he didn't take long to be successful.
Which I don't know how he did. He's like a PG comedian too.
A lot of people love PG.
Yeah.
He's observational.
Observational, yeah. Yeah.
You don't know how. He's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
No, he's great. But what really, nowadays, I don't know. Why would you want to be a comedian? For what?
Yeah.
Why are you going to be a comedian for? I mean, look at all the things that are happening. Look at the things that are happening right now.
Yeah.
You can't really say anything.
I know.
The problem is you got the biggest acts in the world apologizing for what they said 20 years ago.
I know.
If you have the biggest acts in the world who have effort money, mega effort money, breaking down and apologizing for what they said, what the hell is that about?
I don't think they should apologize.
I lost all respect.
Yeah, I think that there's, like 20 years from now, it's going to be the same thing. People are going to say, oh, well, whatever generation comes after the next generation, except this generation, I feel like it's very, very critical of anything you say. And going back to it, comedians don't do it to really, they get it to make people laugh. They don't do it to cut people down. Right?
Well, you don't punch down most of the time anyway. You punch up.
Yeah.
But you're still
in this day and age, to be a white male comic.
A white fat male comic is even the worst.
Like, what do you joke about? Like.
The thing is that you have to advance as far as you can, and you can't let people stop you from saying what you need to say.
You just won't get the deals.
As long as you're funny. Yeah. Well, I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I could say whatever I want, and I do.
Yeah.
Except like when I do some corporate things, which I've done some corporate things, you got to, be good to
shore it up.
You got to shore it up. But still, you stick a little two things in there that people will remember.
Yeah, especially corporate events. Like, they want to be there to kind of let loose, not, stick to the corporate model of doing things.
Oh, no, they're hilarious, too. There's always these guys coming in half drunk. Listen, you could make fun of our boss.
Oh, yeah.
Say whatever you want about the boss.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to say whatever I want about. I save their jobs every time.
Yeah.
Because the boss never likes to be. You may think he likes it, but he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I save their asses.
I've seen that. No, but it's good. I mean, it's also, I think I'd love to start cutting on a boss in front of their employees. I'd want my bosses cut down right in front of us because they can't do anything.
I don't want to do that.
Really?
No, not the boss. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in.
Have you had a bad boss?
I had a bad boss.
Yeah.
You mean as a?
In any industry, in any work career.
Oh, work? I hated them all.
Yeah, wouldn't you love somebody to just get in there and,
Oh, yeah, but...
do a roast on
But
them?
I'm kind of thinking about them because I've heard all this that happens before, and it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
It's just not
you
worth
won't
it
get hired again, probably.
Huh? Oh, I don't care about that. I'm used to that.
That's a great attitude.
I'm used to that. You think I care about that? If I go in and so what?
Yeah.
If I think I'm going to say something that's funny,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it. There's nothing worse than saying something that may be edgy.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
But the goalposts have been moved now of edgy.
No, there's no edgy.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for people on open mics who keep talking about their you-know-whats all the time.
Yeah.
Which is about as exciting as... It's not...
And I've gone to shows out here in Vegas or even some open mics where I think that these guys should be top of their tier, but because of what they talk about, they can't go anywhere, which sucks because that's not what comedy's based on. I feel like the freedom of speech is now, which is crazy. Like from the civil rights in 1969 in Berkeley to today, everybody's like freedom of speech, freedom of practice, and now it's just so. I mean, trying to touch on religion, certain, trying to touch on.
What are you going to touch on? If you touch it's identity politics gone awry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, everybody's identity. You're supposed to care about everybody's identity.
Yeah.
Don't offend this person. Don't offend that person. Don't make fun of this.
Yeah.
We've lost this ability to make fun of each other.
Yeah.
Making fun of each other helps things move along. It's not that and now you can't. It's unbelievable the kind of atmosphere we have now.
I think it's because of the restrictions, believe it or not. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, it's isolating and it's polarizing people because you are restricting people so much from what they really want and can't see. Now, obviously, even back in the day, like Kramer, you know about the Kramer,
Yeah,
like when he went up on stage and lost his mind.
He lost his mind, but in those days, he was videotaped.
Yeah, which you're not supposed to do.
Well, that's why I went crazy, because when you see an image, it's much more powerful than just listening to words.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So an image, we are always when we see an image, we direct ourselves to it.
Yeah.
For example, what happened with George Floyd, right?
Yeah.
If we heard about it, it had absolutely not the same effect as seeing
Watching
a person
die.
Just die. Just that whole idea that some knee is put on him and he's choking.
Yeah.
That's what
blows everything up.
blows everything up. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying the visuality of it.
Yeah.
We're visual creatures.
Absolutely.
So that's changed everything. We all have our phones. We could film it, and everything you do could be taped.
Yeah.
I mean,
outside of the George Floyd incident, which sucks because you could have a moment of, lacking, just a lacking moment of being who you really are, and then you do one thing, and then that's it. That's how you're looked at. That's because that's what, they just take a snippet of something that your whole life, you could be a whatever, and then, you mess up on video once, and that's it. You're done. And
that's the key. You're messing up. You're not really messing up. You're doing something private that all of a sudden people could see.
Yeah.
Like if you and me, we're not going to say what we really think to each other when you're on camera. But when you're private with someone who you're close to, you're going to say some interesting things.
Yeah.
Some of the worst things you could possibly say, you're going to say.
Yeah.
And since nobody knows about it, you're safe. But come on, we know what we're going to say.
Yeah, and everybody does it. Everybody, everybody will make a joke or here or there. I mean, my wife's Peruvian, and if I got caught on video making like little disparaging comments about
about South America.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Well, nowadays they'd be like, what is this? This guy's a misogynist and he hates Latin people even though I'm married.
So what? I wish all those people luck with a capital F.
Yeah. It's.
No, you gotta stop. People have to stop.
I know. The movement is so hard,
if someone's got to do something, you can't just talk about how you want to do this, you want to do that, you're tough, but I don't really want to do it. I'm scared. Yeah. I don't want to do it. It's going everywhere. People are not standing up.
Yeah.
For something. And if you're a comedian,
I know.
And you look at the history of comics and what they've gone through, and you actually are going to shut up because you're scared and you're worried what your contemporaries are going to say, then you're weak. Yeah. You're weak and you're a coward.
Kevin Hart got, banned from the Golden Globes?
But then he started to apologize.
I know.
That's the problem.
Because he was going to lose so much money.
He already has a ton of money. How much chairs do you need?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I told you, he has mega effing money.
He should have just said, look, it's something I said years ago, and obviously it's not approved to say now, but that's just what it is. No apology tour, none of that. Because
no, I don't want apologies from anybody anyway. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, for sure.
Who wants an apology? What kind of an apology is that?
The world right now, the United States wants an apology for everything.
Yeah, you're canceled, you have an apology. If you say something stupid, you should own it.
Yeah.
Say, I said something stupid, and I'm an idiot, and that's it, and I'm not apologizing for it. I have my moments. Sure. This is my life. Yeah. 1 little minute of my life, you're taking it. The hell with you.
Because everything's so critical now. It's just wild.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Look at what is it about the? Let's go with COVID, for example. COVID.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that if we're sitting in private and we're talking, I said, what the hell, 600,000? It's worth it.
600,000
deaths.
Deaths, yeah.
I would, nobody would want to hear this. But if you and me are sitting there and we want to keep the economy going, and we want children to go to school, and we want everything to go, but yet we're so scared of every death. If I hear that one more time, every death is a tragedy. Well,
I'll tell you
true,
what. In 2017,
but we're adults.
80,000 people in the United States died of the flu, and I'm not downplaying COVID at all. But
It's not-
80,000 people died of the flu in 2017. I know COVID's a serious
Well,
thing.
it is.
But I've had neighbors lose their homes, moving out. The kids, just their mental well-being, and I think everybody's COVID situation is different.
Yeah.
If you're single and you're by yourself, like, hey, I'll social distance, I'll do what I want. But for other people, it's a lot harder because they're losing everything.
They're losing everything. They're suicides.
Yeah.
Let's say a kid.
Domestic violence is sky high in Vegas right now.
Well,
Violence on the strip.
It's expected.
There's been shootings every week.
Every week they're coming from California, by the way.
Yeah.
So you got 10-year-olds. Let's say a 10-year-old, because of what happens, something happens to the kid because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He has like 70 more years to live. But an 84-year-old,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, nobody wants to say it that way.
No,
But I'm saying it, even if it was my mother.
Yeah.
Person who's 84 years has what? 5 to 7?
Yeah.
Years? I'm sorry, this is how as an
no,
adult,
absolutely.
you gotta look at it without the emotional. So 7 years, the kid is 10 years old, that means that's 50 years. Or that's 60 years, the other has 7 years. If you multiply the years of harm that this COVID has caused because of shutdowns, because we want to save everybody, I go out all the time.
Yeah.
I'm fat.
Yeah.
It's for some, COVID wants to kill fat people.
Yeah.
I'm old enough.
Yeah.
I'm high risk, but I'm not stopping. I'm going to go out there. And that's the way it is. If I die, I don't want the economy to be shut down or anything to be shut down because of me and people to stop their lives because of me.
Yeah.
You can't think like that.
Yeah. For sure.
And you can't control it that much. People think you could control. This guy today at the debate, what's his name? Biden, said, wear masks. That's his whole thing. Wear masks. I'm going to have you wear masks everywhere you want.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the rotting cactus has to say. Wear masks. Everywhere you go, I want you to wear a mask. That's the answer. I'm dealing with the science. Wear a mask. Anybody want to vote for a person who's going to shut you down?
Yeah. That's tough.
Huh?
No, you probably.
All scare, all the scary routines. I guess we're getting away from comedy right now.
Yeah, let's pick it back to a lighter note.
You want to go to a lighter note?
I mean, I love it.
I go into the dark world. I mean,
No, I mean,
I'm bothered by the sun.
I'm glad you're openly willing to talk about all this.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Well,
That's what I want to get back to.
it's this kind of world. I mean, I can't just casually talk about, I did this in comedy, I did that.
Yeah.
But then there is a time when have you ever been to San Francisco in the comedy places there?
Yeah, I grew up in Sacramento.
Sacramento. Do you know about a place? It's called. I did it there. It was just bizarre. It's called the Wash something. The Brainwash.
The Brainwash. Yeah.
Have you know about that place?
Yeah.
Have you ever done comedy?
I have not. No.
Go to the Brainwash. It's a comedy club / laundromat. So now you're doing your comedy, and some of the audience member hears a ding and actually says, "I gotta go get my laundry."
Well, I mean, San Francisco's so small; they just gotta combine everything.
People are saying, "Ding!" You only hear a ding while you're doing ding. So I decided. I told my wife, "You do the wash." And when there was a ding, I said, "Hold out, everybody. I'm going to get my clothes."
That's awesome.
And like,
In the middle of your set?
Then I came back in the middle of set. Then I came back, showed my giant underwear, took out this, took out that. It was like a disgusting version of what's
not white underwear.
Huh?
Hopefully they were not white underwear.
I didn't go that far. I have my limits.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So World Series of Poker, and then to comedy, and then seminars.
Well, the seminars and comedy, but the wonderful part, and he also, when I went to Israel, which is my original place of birth, I ended up doing a year of comedy in Israel.
What?
Because they have comedy clubs, American comedy clubs in Israel.
No way.
Yeah.
So what were your jokes like over there?
Huh?
What
They were vicious. Because I was allowed to get away with it. There was no holds bar. Everybody.
I mean, there's no comedy
big.
club on the Gaza Strip.
Huh? Well, there may be one. but it would be without heads.
That's great. And you say that with a serious face. That's hilarious.
It's like I said, like if you play poker over there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
No kidding.
I mean, one of the jokes here, my friend comes back from Saudi Arabia, said, "What happened to your hand?" I said, "I played poker. When you lose a hand, you really lose a hand."
That's awesome.
But
so you're not playing poker anymore?
well, I only play if you're a professional poker player. I'll play the tournaments, the World Series, which are now they don't exist right now. In poker, if you're a real professional poker player, you only play in games that you have an advantage. So if you don't have an advantage, and I could look at a poker table and in 15 minutes know exactly who the players are, how they play, and whether it's worth it for me to play. I will not play when people are close play like me, because then the only one who wins is the house, because they take a chop and a cut of every pot. So if you don't have any kind of mathematical advantage, so then there's no point in it. But these guys like to fight each other out. In the old days, in 1980 and all that, we would never do something like that. And we would have a lot of fun because we had actually characters. Yeah. And there was 8 of us. In total in the whole Las Vegas.
So back in the day, were you able to bullshit and talk and joke at...
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah,
We'd
now
order
you can't.
pizza. We'd order pizza together. We'd have all kinds of fun. We'd also have when it was only all of us and there was no it was no sucker there, whatever you want to call them. We would just, what are we going to do? We're all good players. So we decided to take vodka shots every half hour while we played.
That's awesome.
They didn't
Unless that one guy's just drinking water the whole time.
Huh?
Okay.
Son of a bitch. Never thought about that. It's a little late now.
Yeah.
No, but so we had vodka. Now they didn't want me to ever do that again because I became tighter and tighter and hardly played a hand. I got paranoid after drinking.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't play. I won because I wouldn't play except top hands and they were all going crazy.
Yeah. So I've heard that the locals actually, they want to stay away from the outside casinos.
What do you mean by outside?
So like I've heard like South Point is one of the toughest places to win a hand at poker because
Really?
you got locals that
Well, most locals are bad.
play all the time. But on the strip, you have these guys come in that are big fishes and they're drunk and just there to kind of blow money. So some of the professional pokers are like, yeah, you always go to the strip, not to the the outlying stations like
Well,
South Point. Yeah.
People who say that are not good players.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell in 15 minutes. Most locals are bad players. They're not good players. They just happen to have played badly for 30 years. Nobody tells them that, so they're bad. But if I go into a game, I don't go there because the limit is too low. I'm not making enough money. But once in a while, I'll go there to have fun with the older guys, who don't play. So I come in with like 6 racks of chips, and chips are flying, and either I break the whole table or they've won a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whichever the case, I'm happy.
So
It was funny.
What was the most, probably the World Series of Poker you got 5th. What was the most you won out of poker too? You don't mind me asking.
49,000 times. I've also lost 29,000.
Oh my gosh.
So it all depends.
Yeah.
But most of the time I played limit, not no limit.
Yeah.
That's where the real money is.
Yeah. That's,
The real pros under the
you just
radar.
keep buying in.
Well, the other ones who are playing, if you're playing no limit, people who play badly get killed immediately.
Yeah.
They put all their money in, it's over. That's it. Where's the fun?
Yeah.
And then they feel ashamed.
So do you pay attention to people's, like, can you pick up, I mean, you've been playing for a while, can you pick up on, hints or movements on people? Like
Nowadays, if they're bad, the players are bad, they're going to each play like their, identity. Sorry. A Greek is going to play like a Greek. A black person is going to play like a black person.
Yeah.
Mediterranean. Every group, a Texan, have a different cultural way that they play.
That is
As long as they're bad players. Once you become a good player, you know not to have that take the culture
Persona.
that you're from.
Yeah.
So then everybody becomes not part of the culture. But if you're a bad player, you could tell what's going to happen. For example, I'll give you an example. A Texan comes in, and he has a girlfriend behind him. So he wants to prove to the girlfriend, So you know within 10 minutes he's going to try for a bluff.
Bluff, right?
Right? There's an example. Right? So you're set up.
What about a Jew?
Huh?
You're Jewish.
Yeah, what about a Jew?
What about a Jew? What a Jew?
They're a pain in the ass, all of them.
Why? Why?
Huh? They're all a pain in the ass. Even after 40 years, you remember when with Moses there for 40 years, they running around, huh? After God had to deal with them for 40 years, he quit.
That's hilarious.
I know, I mean,
Yeah.
well, Jews are a pain in the ass like everybody else. Whatever.
Yeah.
I know they're more of a pain in the ass.
You were
because
just
I'm
saying,
Jewish,
like, you know, like.
no, but Jews, again, if a Jew...
I mean, they're smart.
They're
I mean,
smart. I'm not so
stereotype-
sure. I used to
stereotype
think
like
they're smart. Now I think they're schmucks.
yeah.
And I could say that. I could say whatever I want. They can't. No.
I'll lead you to it. I can't say it.
Huh?
I could say it, but you know how it goes.
No, but I mean, Jews will act. What will they act like? I don't know actually, because when I play,
They're
They
probably,
just-
they're probably
they
smart
just-
enough with their money.
they just
don't play
always
poker.
look unhappy when they're sitting playing poker. They don't look happy. So that's all you get.
Yeah.
I'm not happy, no matter what hand. Hey, that's what you get.
So there's no more jawing at the tables anymore, like it used to be. You know, just banter back and forth.
You can't say anything.
You can't say anything.
You can't say. In
You
the
can't
game, you
even-
can't even talk. Even in the World Series of Poker, you can't talk back to another person. Say any word.
Even
So-
if you win a pot, you can't, mouth off a little.
No, not allowed anymore. You can't.
That
smoke,
the
you can't
mental
this, you
game
can't-
is the biggest part of poker. Why would they take
Well, it's
that
not
away?
the biggest, but at least it's fun. I mean, so I would get around it though. Like in the World Series of Poker, if you said something like the F word, they would give you 10 minutes.
No.
You know, you got 10 minutes. You
Yeah.
can't play for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I had this one of these shift bosses that I couldn't stand. So when I wanted to take a break, I called him up. I said, "Go F yourself."
Where was this at?
This was at the tournament at the Rio.
That's-
Because when I knew I want a
Yeah.
10-minute break to go pee. I'm not gonna waste this moment. You know, I'm gonna say, "Go F yourself." The whole table just cracks up. I get 10 minutes, and he can't take it.
So there's an idea out there. At least people I've talked to. Have people worn diapers at poker tables?
Well, thank God I have not seen that.
Okay.
But I have seen something that I still remember. And we were playing in a tournament. And it was like a 3-table tournament. And this guy went all in, and he's gone. Now they bring in this other guy. I'm looking at this guy. His mother is behind him. And he announces that his arms don't work because he took his motorcycle at 120 miles an hour and hit a tree. Now, is that the way?
That already
you
sounds
introduce-
fishy.
No, it's not fishy. It happened. He's got limp arms. So how does he play? With his feet.
Are you kidding me?
He has these shorts. I don't like feet.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't like feet at all.
did they just shuffle it back in the deck? And
Huh? No, I mean,
did he have corns on them? Or were they pretty feet?
he literally uses his feet to look at the cards. He takes his toe in this and throws chips in. And I'm saying,
Scratches his ear.
this is I got suspended for 2 weeks at the poker room for what happened afterwards. Now he's leaning towards me, and he has these short shorts so he could maneuver. Right? He's playing,
You can't
and
make
all
that
of a
up.
sudden I'm sitting there and saying I'm starting to see one of his balls.
See?
And it's like a drama, because there's first a little part of the balls, then a little more, then finally the full Monty. And that's when I couldn't take it anymore. I got it, and I said, "This guy's got balls." Guess who got suspended? And a guy called me, "How do you talk to people who have that kind of..."
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you... I said, "I don't give a hell."
Yeah.
He could go screw himself with his foot. That's what I said. His mother was there. She didn't even help him. I said,
Yeah.
"Can't you take the cards for him? Why does he have to do that?"
Yeah.
So I don't care. So
Yeah.
I was gone, but I remember it.
Yeah.
The image can't be taken away from me.
Yeah, that is a great story. I'm surprised they let him play.
Huh?
You know.
Oh, they'll let them play. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
They can't say anything. Again, well, I'm going to tell someone who who was an idiot enough to ride in 120 miles an
Yeah.
hour on a bicycle, that alone should be
Yeah.
disqualifying for sitting.
He probably like he knew.
Announcing, could you imagine telling someone that you're 120 miles and I hit and I can't? Why would you say something like that to anybody?
Make up another story. And
Huh?
he probably knew his balls were out. He's trying to mentally screw with you. Like,
No, I don't
look at
think
your
so.
cars.
I don't think so.
No?
He did screw with me. You know when it actually happened is, you know what check raising is?
Mm-mm.
It's when you check, and then when it's up to you, that means checking. That means that basically he's not putting a bet. He's just saying, I'm not betting.
Oh, yeah.
And then you bet, and he raises you.
On the next go around?
Yeah. So he did
Wow.
that with his toe, and I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
He goes like this, and then he goes around. I bet, then he takes it with the toes and throws the chips in. Now I'm looking at his balls at the same time, and that's
Yeah.
when I cracked.
He couldn't take it anymore.
What?
That's great.
No, I cracked. I think sometimes I live like a Larry David thing. I get myself into trouble all the time. My wife says it's atonement day. When it's atonement day, something stupid really happens.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, the supermarket. I don't need to make shit up.
Yeah, no, I get
I'm
to,
at the
you
super-
can't make that up.
No, you can make it up,
That's-
but I just didn't.
That's so deep. That's so detailed. Though. You know, like that's.
It's like at the supermarket 2 weeks ago. Everybody's with a mask. There's these old people, really old people behind me, and I have a lot on and they don't have that much. So I tell them, I said to them, listen, go ahead of me. I got all the time in the world. You know what the guy said? You asshole! You think we're gonna die soon? You're telling me that? Look at you, you fat bastard! You have a better chance of dying than we do of COVID. They're like 98 years old.
Yeah.
This is what you get for being nice.
Yeah, it's no, I know it's there's. I think the word Karen came out during COVID.
Word Karen?
You know,
Everybody's
Karen,
a tattletale. Oh yeah, is that what you call it?
Yeah,
Karen.
Karen. Basically, it's women, typically white women, that they call them Karens because they care too much. So they'll go out of their way and
Yeah, they
put
care
on
too
your mask.
Are
Happened to my wife.
they part of the Antifa movement? Is that they
No,
there's a lot of Karens.
I think they're it's towards like middle aged or 30s, 40s of women who just care. They care too much. We were at the pharmacy the other day, and my wife didn't have her nose or her mask on the bridge of her mask. It was here, but
Yeah.
it wasn't here. And this lady just walked up and called her a bitch. And
Oh yeah, that's going on.
it's wild. She had a mask on, and then she got 2 feet, so she wasn't 6 feet apart from her, but she was worried she didn't have her mask fully on her face,
It's not
which
her
is
business.
bizarre.
It's not her
Because you
business.
can't pick and choose what COVID guidelines you want to follow, And
Well, people get themselves involved in situations they should.
yeah,
I mean, we had a friend who smoked.
Yeah.
I don't tell him anything. He's outside smoking. This guy comes up to him and says, "You're smoking. You're smoking. The smoke bothers me." He's 15 feet away.
Yeah.
He comes and says, "You're smoking. My smoking bothers me." You know what my friend said? It was the best comment. Well, it's killing me. Why should I care if it's bothering you? And the guy said, and the guy never said anything again after that. I love that.
So what have you been up to recently?
Nothing much. Listen, the truth is, I was just about to get into a cruise ship.
Okay.
I spent a good half an hour of completely clean, even though they want G, PG, and X-rated because they have
For the
a 12
late night.
Yeah, for the late. So you need an hour and a half of.
Have you done the cruise ships before?
Oh, it's funny. I've done the cruise ship from Israel. I was the guy who owned a couple of Greek cruise ships roaming around
Ibiza.
Greece and all that. And they said, "Hey, why don't you do some over there?" So I did. It was hilarious
That's great.
because it was all these people from all over Europe. There was a lot of British people. And I said, "How am I going to do an hour? I have a great."
In English. I mean, a lot of people speak English.
Yeah, they speak English. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You can have fun with the Greek. It was hilarious. But I didn't have that amount of material.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to have that amount of
Do
material.
you do crowd work to?
You
do
had to.
fillers? You had to.
You had to. They all do. You
Yeah.
had to. But the key is that it's all smoke and mirrors. Basically, you're reading up on everybody. You know that there's going to be Turks. You know there's going to be British. You know so now you're reading really how they all behave with each other, what they think. Which there's a South, there's a North. Every country has their same kind of accent and character. So you study it. I mean, hours of study. So when you're there and you talk to people, they think you're a genius.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you've memorized. Well, that's how most of comedy works anyway.
Yeah.
The improv is very little. The
Yeah.
truth is, even Robin Williams improv very little. Everything
Robin Williams did?
Improv very little.
Really?
Oh, everything was
Even in his
everything
movies?
was controlled. No, I don't know, but the movies he's going to come up with something.
Yeah.
But live, it's much more prepared. I mean, I know this from a friend of his, and plus, I had a friend. He showed. I went twice. One when he was in San Francisco, and one when he was in Las Vegas. And I told my friend, "How much do you want to bet he's going to do the exact same thing that looks like he's just coming up with in San Francisco? Exact same thing, just different people.
Yeah.
Just a little change."
Yeah.
But that's it. Of course, he was also known as stealing a lot of jokes. He had to pay off people left and right.
Yeah, there's a lot of, Amy Schumer got a lot of backlash for that. But parallel thinking and stuff like that. But there's
several things that happen, but this was more than
when it's specific, like, when it's like every word, and they may have come up with it later, but it's bad news if you comment if there's video of a comedian saying the exact same stuff you did for 10 years or 5 years earlier.
Yeah, it's a big no-no. It's a very big no-no. I mean, if I see people at the open mic, I don't care, because if they're beginners, they got to take something. So it's not that big of a deal. I love it when one terrible open micer and another terrible open micer gets mad at the other one for taking the terrible joke. Yeah, that's funny.
It's been around forever.
I mean, there's no end to it.
Yeah, which sucks because comedians, they're already kind of confined because a lot of the jokes have already been done, right? So they're already confined within, unless it's like personal. You come up with personal stuff.
But people, a lot of the same things.
It's going to be interesting in the next 5-10 years what comedians are going to talk about because
it's all
the
going to
Netflix stuff I think sucks.
Oh, they do. Did you see that?
They
one
are
that, what was her? I don't want to say because she's a lesbian, but she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
What was her name? Hannah?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I'd rather have the Chinese water drop torture than listen to her again.
Yeah, I don't know.
And people like her, but she's not funny. And they even have the new non-funny.
Yeah.
The new comedy is the new non-funny. Have you heard of this? Comedy that's not funny. It's becoming popular.
It's wild. It's so. If anybody goes to open mics or comedy shows in Vegas, you guys will see some edgy but funny stuff that will never make it anywhere because now, and it's all cookie cutter now. I mean, Bill Burr. Did you see Bill Burr's Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. Oh, he was great.
He is.
Well, he's one of the best.
He is one of the best.
I mean, I love him.
And he walked that line in a genius way of, because he's married to a black woman.
Right.
And he talked about.
He is?
Yeah.
That's a shock. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. But I mean, like
it's a shock.
A little
Irish,
you just wouldn't think of it like that. But he got so much backlash from Saturday Night Live. I mean, Twitter exploded on him. And it's like, whoa, like, come on. Like, we can't just, put ourselves in a box and just say, okay, I'm going to make funny stuff that you think is funny. Because now you're destroying the creativity of every comedian or artist that goes on stage.
Well, it's also, now, let's get a. So what are you going to do when it comes to what's happening now with the election? Which party do you think is more for freedom and which party is more for the which party do you think is, because I don't care, I'm going to tell you. Which party do you think is for freedom and which party do you think is for more shutting your mouth up? Which carries identity politics, for example?
I mean, it's definitely a loaded question, but I don't agree with cancel culture.
So if you don't agree with cancel culture, there's only one side that believes in cancel culture.
And that's just like this one observation of, there's so many other things, that upsets me about obviously.
Well, you could be upset about both sides.
Yeah, but I don't like, as doing comedy, I hate cancel culture. I hate that, It sucks. It's not going to be good for us. It's not
So
going to.
where is it coming from? Nowadays, both parties have completely changed. The Democratic Party has changed, and the Conservative Party has changed, and they're switching places.
You're right. Like 1969 Berkeley, civil rights was like,
actually,
hey, say what you want, do what you want, let's practice what we want.
So
and you're right. And now it's more.
Now I've seen when I see the Black Lives Matter or the Antifa members, which by the way seem to be mostly white. So I call them.
So that's what Bill Burr was talking about.
Yeah. So I don't. So to me, it's white better boys with feral women.
Yeah, BLM.
Feral girls.
I
and
do
white
believe
better boys.
BLM got hijacked by.
Well, no, they didn't get hijacked because BLM itself.
The idea of
the
BLM
blacks
is great.
got hijacked. The blacks got hijacked, but the BLM organization itself is completely different. It's based on complete identity politics.
Yeah. Well, shit. Did you hear 50 Cent endorse Trump?
Well, I loved it because he then said he didn't want to be 20 Cent. I thought that was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. I don't want to be 20 Cent.
Dude, the world flipped over on its axis.
They're flipping over no matter
and they
what.
They already want to cancel him. They don't want him.
I hope he has a lot of money.
Which I don't like. I don't like, and if somebody wanted to endorse Biden, then I don't care. But don't cancel him, because that's America's found him freedom of speech, and obviously we're gonna have, the KKK and bullshit. I think Trump just put KKK on the domestic terrorist list too.
He did them. He put
Antifa.
Antifa and all that. They should be doing.
So, but there's certain groups where you gotta be like, listen, but then everything in between, if you're not trying to hurt somebody or kill somebody or, because there's a lot of religions where people, Mormonism to Islam, where if you really want to get down in the weeds of all these religions, Catholicism, they're all really bad. There's a lot of.
No, they're not all really bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
They're not all really
the
bad.
Bible Bible talks about how to sell slaves.
Yes, and it was also, and the Bible also is telling stories too, and it's not necessarily, if you read the Bible really carefully, it's not coming out like you think. There's different interpretations, but if you look at the Bible directly, especially if you look at the Old Testament, which basically God is a pain in the ass.
It's wild.
The Jewish God doesn't like you.
Hates you.
Yeah. You make one wrong move, none of this, the other cheat or anything like that. One wrong move, boom, you bastard.
Yeah.
So, and the other one is, he wasn't that much of a turn. That's a false thing.
Yeah.
But both religions have the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
Both religions have the Golden Rule.
With both religions, which ones are you talking about?
Well, also Buddhism and all that. Yeah. But I'm just talking about the two main religions: it's Judaism and the Judeo-Christian.
Well, Islam, even in the Quran, they even have Jesus in there.
But they have Jesus, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
They have Jesus, they have everybody, but he wasn't really Jesus. Jesus wasn't resurrected. I say we're going in that direction. I don't care. I mean, I don't.
No,
it's
up
to you.
Yeah.
Islam doesn't have the Golden Rule.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. It's a little different. The Golden Rule is do unto you. You don't want something done to you that you do to others. You don't want people doing to you what you don't want. That one.
I thought the Golden Rule.
That thing. I'm going that thing. No.
He who owns the gold rules.
No. The gold, he who owns the gold rules.
Yeah.
Well, that's basic humanity right there. But you have the Bible and you have other things. They're ideals. That doesn't. The humans don't get to the absolute ideal.
Yeah.
But there are written things there that are actually based on many correct things. You may not like things that Jews and people, they don't. The ones who read it if they interpret it literally, then they're going to have problems.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of beauty to it. There's a lot of beauty to it, and I personally think that the opposite happened. If it wasn't for religion, there'd be even worse wars. There'd even be more. The 20th century, there we are. 20th century proves that.
Yeah.
What took over? Communism. Yeah. Communism is Marxism. Marxism has no God in it. 100 million people died.
Yeah. So
basically and that's humanity. Human has a dark side. But religion, I think, softened it, even though all the terrible parts that were there, I think it softened it. But are we done?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, I can talk about this for 3 hours.
I'm sorry they're leaving.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
This is why I like to be on the podcast, so you can speak freely and we could have a conversation, because you can't really have a conversation like this in a lot of places. So,
No, I
Thank you.
agree. No, whatever you want.
Yeah. well, thank you
Okay.
for coming on the show.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It was fun.
It's uplifting to hear you just speak your mind. I mean, I love that. You know, a lot of people have restrictions, but thank you for
I'm not
coming
gonna
on the
restrict,
show.
yeah, I'm just-
Is there any where are you going to be playing, or is there anybody on
Well, I'm
Instagram, or
hoping-
do you have a YouTube show or video?
I have nothing
Okay.
at this point.
Well, you got some stuff on YouTube.
I know I got stuff at YouTube.
Yeah.
If you want to watch YouTube, we have the Fat Bastards of Comedy, where,
Yeah.
where we become sumo wrestlers.
Yeah. I
And we
saw
have
you
the
do Gundam style on stage.
Gundam style, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have things. We would add more, but my whole tape thing,
Yeah.
that stone.
Did it really?
Yeah, all the stuff that I didn't back up. But we have a lot of fun. We were going to do an hour and a half variety. We did that variety show for an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah,
We
that's
went all around, and that was fun. But right now, my more interest is something else. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I love the comedy, but I'm not like crazy about it because
Yeah.
of the situation right now.
Yeah.
And you know, more back into certain. Sorry, more
No,
back into
you're good.
into poker playing, and I'm hoping that the cruise ships
Yeah.
come back.
Please.
And
yeah.
then I would be able to start doing cruises,
Yeah.
and that would be a lot of
At
fun.
least-
Because you could get, even though it's PG, people want those ethnic jokes a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you kind of make fun of everybody
Yeah.
from different backgrounds.
For sure.
In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, you're safe.
Oh no, I don't
Well,
care.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean in a good way. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit what. Sorry, I don't care what they think. I mean anybody. I don't care
Yeah.
anymore. After you reach a certain age.
Well, thanks. I mean, thanks. Your story is awesome. Keep up with the poker.
Thank you.
Thank you
were
for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
were
Thank you.
fun.
It was a pleasure.
So, thank you.
Okay. Now who's gonna kill me? No.
No. dude.